Tonight's 8 Lights is brought to you by Mehadrin, king of kosher dairy. Mehadrin serves your family high-quality cheeses, yogurts, ice creams, and more. Always fresh, always full of flavor. Check the fridge at your local store for Mehadrin's line of premium dairy products.
Chanukah is an amazing time. It's a time in which we are given a holiday that is designed and built around giving us the inspiration to repel and to overcome darkness. You know, in all of our lives there's darkness. Each and every one of us goes through some challenge, some trying time. There's a person in our lives that is giving us a hard time. There's a situation, whether it's at home or at work or in the larger world, that we feel adds darkness, confusion, fear. There's sickness, there's pain. No one, not if you're playing hard enough, do you live a life where everything is comfortable and perfect. And Chanukah comes in to teach us a story as to how to deal with that, how to bring light and darkness. You know, it's easy to be able to bring light and light, but you know what happens when it's light? Your personal light doesn't shine. Your personal light doesn't add any value because the light's already on. And when times are going well and things are perfect, those aren't the times in which we shine. We may, but no one can tell. We shine when it's otherwise dark. How? So I want to tell you about how Chanukah really works. You know, the entire holiday comes down to one idea: lighting candles. In fact, if you look at most of Jewish holidays, there's a lot that we do. We're going to shul, we're davening a lot, we're preparing big meals, we're saying all this stuff. Chanukah's not like that. Chanukah's got very little to do. It's basically just one thing. It almost doesn't feel like a Jewish holiday. You come home, you light a candle, and that's it. And the entire miracle is really just oil. It was a war that started it, but now all we have is the oil. And being Jews, we figure out a way to sort of eat oil or drink oil, but that's just us being us. But in reality, it's really just a little bit of oil and a wick that lights on fire. So what is oil? I want to talk a little bit about what oil really is. You know, in life, there are two fruits and vegetables, if you will. There are two items that their liquid is more valuable than their solid. If you take any basic item, oranges, apples, bananas, the actual solid and the liquid is pretty much the same value. But for two things, that's not the case. For grapes and for olives. Grapes make wine. Wine is infinitely more, or said better, it's exponentially more valuable than grapes. And then there's oil that comes from olives, olive oil, that is much more valuable than the olives themselves. Now, what are these two items and how do they apply to our lives? Grapes are things that are sweet. It's a fruit, it's sweet. And so sometimes in life when things are sweet, we indulge in the sweetness. But if you notice in Judaism, what happens is every time we're about to encounter something that is potentially sweet, we bring out the wine. Before you have Shabbos, you bring out wine. Before you get married, you bring out the wine. When you have a baby, you bring out the wine. We're always bringing out the wine to commemorate some activity or action that has given us something great in life. Why? Because the lesson that we're trying to learn is that if you get inside why it's great, if on the outside it could just be sweet, but if you delve inside marriage, and if you delve inside raising a child, and if you delve inside the day of Shabbos, you're going to get something that is so much more valuable than the sweetness of the grape. And we're told and taught through our activities, Judaism is experiential, by the way, that the grape is sweet, the action is sweet, but if you go on the inside, you're going to find something that's even higher. But sometimes life isn't sweet, it's bitter. Grapes are sweet, olives are bitter. But sometimes in the bitterness of life, sometimes in the rote of life, sometimes in the mundane everyday of life, sometimes in the darkness, the trying times, the challenge, the pain, the confusion, the ambiguity of life, the olive of life. When you look at it from just the olive, it's bitter. When you look at it from just the challenge, it's hard. When you look at it as darkness, it's overwhelming. But if you delve into it, if you engage in the activity, if you understand why we do what we do, if you delve into the roteness of your life, if you look into the challenges that you have and realize that within that challenge there is power and potential that you didn't know you had, If you look at that person who's driving you crazy and realize that that person is also a person that has their own challenges, and maybe there's a part of you that can come out in dealing with that person, then what happens is you're delving into the olive. And in that olive is oil. And that oil is flammable. Your light comes out through challenge. Your muscles grow when you challenge them. Your greatness shines not when it's all comfortable and easy, but when it's being challenged. That's how life works. When the olive is crushed, when the challenge is delved into, it produces oil. Now that's something you can light. The story of Chanukah is 12, 13 individuals that stood down to the most challenging circumstance in Jewish history. A nation that has largely left, and an army that had conquered antiquity that was telling them that you become Jewish and you'll die. And they challenged back. And it was that pushback, that delving, that finding that gave them the opportunity to become who they were meant to be. This Chanukah, as you look into your life, take the oil, take the olives, the challenges, the darkness, and crush it. Delve into it. You'll find a flammable source that you can light up, and one little bit of your light and darkness could accomplish so much. Happy Chanukah.